Hello again. The exam next Wednesday will deal, as usually, with several different parts, namely a listening comprehension part, a reading comprehension part, and a writing part. The writing part will deal mostly with some grammatical structures. It is in fact quite simple, because it's about purpose sentences, purpose clauses. Sentences that point out to a purpose, indicate a purpose. Let's look at the example. You went home to have lunch. You went home with the purpose of having lunch. You went home in order to have lunch. And this is the basic form, but we also have to take into account there's grammar books that I give to the kids to study, they give to the students, the pupils, in order to study. Basically, there are three types of sentences. We've got the affirmative sentence. He has to study. He has to study. That's his duty. That's what he's got to do. That's what he must do. He has to study. Then there comes the negative. She does not have to study. She does not have to study, or in a contracted form, she doesn't have to study. That's the negative. Then we got the interrogative. Do they have to clean their rooms? Do they have to clean their rooms? So we've got to deal with these three types of sentences: the affirmative, the negative, and the interrogative. But they also got to be capable of, notice that all of these, according to the verb tense and the present tense, they got to be able to change them in order to make the past, and they also have to be able to transform them into the future. So, he has to study in order to make it into the past. Has becomes had, turns into the past, the verb. So he had to study. He had to study. Let's imagine we want to take it into the future. So he will have to study. Will have to study. It's pretty simple. You just got to apply these rules in order to transform the sentences, and be very careful. We will talk about that a bit further on, a bit later on. She does not have to study. This is the present tense. She did not have to study. It's the past tense. She will not have to study. It's the future tense. Regarding the interrogative sentences, do they have to clean their rooms? Do they have to clean their rooms? In the past would be, did they have to clean their rooms? In the future would be, will they have to clean their rooms? So, let us notice, we've got to be careful, since in order to transform the sentences into the past or the future from the affirmative, we change the auxiliary verb, but the main verb remains in the base form, remains in the infinitive. Okay? So she has, especially in the future, because she will have, not she will has, as some kids do. They got to be careful with this. And it also happens to what they will have to do. Sometimes it happens that when they change this into the past, they make mistakes, such as instead of saying she had to study, they transform study into the past, they change it into the past, they say something like he had to study it. No, not at all. Yeah? So we transform the auxiliary verb, yet the main verb remains in the base form, remains in the infinitive. So, how to give short answers. Some questions, some exercises in the exam for Wednesday will deal with this. I made them copy in the notebooks, these books, and they do not actually need to study, but mostly they need to understand it, and they need to be able to apply it once they go to answer a question in a short way, such as this. Does he have to read this book? Yes, he does. No, he doesn't. Do they have to buy pencils? Yes, they do. No, they don't. Did he have to make lunch? Yes, he did. No, he didn't. Will he have to walk to school? Yes, he will. No, he won't. Won't is the abbreviation for will not. He will not. He won't. Now, let's get back to structures that they already learned in the prior unit, in Unit 1. They actually the structure while plus the progressive past, the past progressive, the past continuous, a comma, and then the next sentence in the past. While she was running, she lost her phone. Notice lost is the past tense of lose. So it would be a good idea if they would review a bit the irregular verbs, even though we'll look into that a bit further later on. Now, the other structure that we saw is used to. Used to refers to something that we usually did in the past. We did it in a continuous row, where we did it usually, but we don't do it anymore. When I was a kid, when I was a baby, I used to drink milk from a baby bottle, but I don't do it anymore. So when she was 4, she used to play with toys. When she was 4, imagine she's 20 years old now, she won't play with the dogs anymore, would she? No. He used to play with cars, but now he plays computer games. So when he was a little kid, he used to play with cars. Now that he's a teenager, he plays computer games. Notice it's something that we did in the past, but we don't do anymore. And it's in order to give it a rough translation, cuando ella tenía 4 años, solía jugar con muñecas. Cuando tenía 4 años. Él solía jugar con cochecitos, pero ahora juega a juegos de ordenador. It's good to keep in mind these structures, because in the exam, 1 or maybe 2 of the exercises will be related to structures from the previous unit, mostly in order to make the kids actually not forget these structures, which are actually important. So thanks for viewing this video, and I hope it will be of help for you. I hope so. Well, thanks very much indeed. Goodbye.